Good morning, Trump's family. Have a great Thursday, everyone, and God bless you. Thank you for always watching and subscribing to the channel. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the news. The Department of Justice is escalating their case against President Donald Trump by attempting to get his lawyer to testify against him. Under normal circumstances, lawyers are not obligated to do so as they are covered by client-attorney privilege. However, the department is looking to bypass this rule by alleging that Trump's lawyer took part in the crime regarding mishandling of classified documents. This loophole known as the crime fraud exception. I will continue to keep you in the loop. This is new, a new story that's just coming out. And so I'll keep you in the loop if it goes any further. Now, the Department of Justice also continued to attack Trump. Regarding January 6, former Vice President Mike Pence was just hit with a subpoena but is currently refusing to testify against the former president. The legal argument for his refusal hinges on his position being classified under the legislative branch as that would cover him from legally having to answer questions under the U.S. Constitution. However, the speech and debate clause that Pence will be attempting to call into action as a defense is controversial because he is not a member of the Senate. So the Department of Justice will have to prove that he is not using his privilege as a vice president, and that he's not invoking parts of the U.S. Constitution. Either way, the legal battle may stall the Department of Justice's progress, but it looks like they are going to go after Trump through former Vice President Mike Pence. Press President Joe Biden has touted yesterday's inflation numbers. He stated the data shows annual inflation falling for 7 months. Real wages for working Americans are up over this same time, and food and gas prices down, giving breathing room to families. All while unemployment stayed at its lowest level since 1969. And job growth remained resilient. This is one of the first moments in Biden's COVID-infested term that he's been able to provide good news, according to the White House. Now with this, the Republicans have flipped this back on Biden and the White House. Republican Representative James Smith sees the opportunity to call for Biden to reduce government spending if the economy is doing that much better. Okay, now, it seems that Russian President Vladimir Putin is getting tired of the West interfering in the Russia-Ukraine special operation. Putin ordered 2 supersonic Blackjack nuclear bombers to fly near the United Kingdom as a warning to London to stay out of the war and to not hand over jets to Zelensky. Remember, I reported a few days ago that the United Kingdom said, of course, we'll give you jets, we'll give you whatever you need. Then they threatened to bomb London. And they said, actually, you know what? Never mind. We've got to think through what we're actually willing to give you. So, Putin is upping the ante. He's calling their bluff. He's raising the stakes. And now he's sent these 2 nuclear bombers called Blackjacks to basically buzz the tower right now. He also ordered that 2 nuclear bombers buzz the United States airspace on their way back to Russia. This happened after 2 Russian Tu-Bear bombers were seen flying off the coast of Alaska with 30 Russian fighter jets accompanying them. So basically, Putin has ordered these 2 bombers to fly towards the United States, bump up as close as they can to the airspace, and then return, and they were accompanied by 30 Russian fighter jets. So I mean, like, this is escalation, right? They're trying to provoke the US military to do something, or they're trying to embarrass the US military. Or even Biden. So this is a big story. Now, these bombers, according to news reports, are equipped to carry nuclear bombs. But now there's no way of telling if there were nuclear weapons on this mission. And so the Pentagon says, listen, we're more concerned with 32 military aircraft coming near the United States than we are to speculate about whether it had nuclear weapons. Just the fact that they approached our borders and our airspace is enough to set off alarm bells that Putin is escalating the war and the situation, not only towards the United Kingdom, but now towards the United States. So over on the east, he's, buzzing their airspace over on the west and near Alaska. He's buzzing our airspace, which is also threatening to Canada at the same time. So Putin is definitely pushing the envelope with these military moves. Now, did you know that 2 nuclear bombers approached the United States accompanied by 30 fighter jets? Or is that not in the news? Because I had to pick this up from European news. It's not really being discussed. I mean, like, why is our media not covering this stuff? We've got trains exploding in Ohio, and they're like, this is nothing, even though it's full of chemicals that can kill people and animals. I mean, The media is just not doing a very good job. Now, Democrats have a problem on their hands. According to Democrats, only 12% of voting Democrats want Joe Biden to be the leader of the party. Next to him, we have AOC Hakeem Jeffries and Bernie Sanders only getting 5% interest. And then Vice President Kamala Harris, only 3% of Democrats want her as a leader. So there's so much unity within Democrat leaders, but when it comes to their voters, it seems they're very disappointed in the selection in the pool to pull from. Where's Obama? Where's the next big Democrat coming from? That's what they want to know. But as it stands, these are the cards that they have to play with. But there's a big difference between DC Democrats supporting each other and the actual voters. And it seems, according to the news, the voters not very happy with the leadership right now. Now, in a new interview with Politico, Vice President Kamala Harris stated, she doesn't believe the Chinese spy balloon incident should impact our relationship with China. Not a big deal. She explained that Biden is seeking competition with China, not conflict or confrontation. Now, do you agree with her stance, that this wasn't really that big of a deal? I liked how she thinks that China spying on us citizens isn't a big deal. I like how she thinks China spying on our nuclear silos outside of a US military base isn't a big deal. But then again, she's the one in charge of the US border, and we're having a border crisis with over 5 million people illegally flooding into the country. So just I'm blown away, right? Oh yeah, China's fine. No big deal. All right, now, China's state-run media mouthpiece The Global Times has criticized President Joe Biden for obsessing over a balloon. While there's so many other big issues going on in America, their statement read, the fact that such a catastrophe occurred for more than a week without being extensively reported also reflects toxic trends in U.S. political and media circles, who are too obsessed with creating imaginary enemies and hyping outside threats such as Chinese balloons to pay it. So they're pointing out the Ohio train explosion with chemical gas everywhere. There was also one in Texas and another one in Arizona. The media is not covering these out, and we've got the border crisis going on. And all these things that they're saying, oh, you guys are obsessed with our balloons. But you're not even listening to your own people. You have such problems in your political system. So things are bad when China that's run by communist leaders calls out the US media as fake news. Now the stock market started off red today with worries about the new inflation data. However, strong retail sales numbers were released in the market headed green just before the finishing bell. Gold and silver were down slightly and Bitcoin in the face RM rose between 3 to 4%. The White House has announced its plan to build a network of 500,000 electric vehicles all across the United States. And shockingly, they've partnered with Elon Musk of Tesla to do this. Now, Biden and Elon Musk do not get along very well. Elon recently admitted he voted for Biden. But then later he stated, he's now become a Republican. And the White House has trashed Tesla, or ignored Tesla for 2 years, because Tesla isn't unionized. And they want to support Ford, and also General Motors, because they are unionized. And they mostly vote Democrat. But now they've basically given the poem to Ford, and also to General Motors, and said, we're now going to go with your biggest competitor, Tesla. So they'll be building these out over the coming years to have chargers all over the United States. Now, if I had to guess, Tesla was going to do this anyway. And the White House decided to partner with them last minute so that they could have bragging rights. But I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Now, that's the news for today. A lot going on this. Putin sending nuclear bombers and 30 fighter jets towards the United States. That's pretty concerning. And I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that that is happening behind the scenes. And some significant news. I must say one of the greatest things that took place last year was Elon Musk buying Twitter and just the amount of fun he brought back to the platform. And of course, revealing how desperate that the US government was to curtail freedom of speech by using these private companies such as Twitter, and I'm sure Google and YT and Instagram, Facebook, as well, to curb your ability to be able to speak your mind. And then again, for people that were going against the narrative and going against the propaganda that was putting out there, those people were targeted by the US government. So the biggest story last year was probably Elon Musk purchasing Twitter and revealing much of the stuff that took place underneath the hood. And we're, very grateful that take place, and he continues to troll just about everybody out there. And recently, he decided to go ahead during the FIFA World Cup, put out a poll discussing, should I remain the CEO of Twitter, and I will abide by the results of this poll, and the people voted no. They did not want him to continue as the CEO, so he said he would start looking for a CEO. And yesterday he tweeted out that he has a replacement CEO. So let's kind of dive into what we have here. And it says this: Elon Musk introduces the unexpected new CEO of Twitter, claims he is better than Prague. Arg wall. Anybody would have been better than that dude. Back in December, Elon Musk announced that he would step down as Twitter CEO after a poll he conducted didn't turn out in his favor. And so Elon said he would resign as Twitter's chief executive as soon as someone foolish enough was to take on the job. Once he finds his replacement, Musk said he wouldn't return to the software and server team that will resign as CEO as soon as I find someone foolish enough, he said, to take the job. On Tuesday, Elon Musk surprised everyone by appointing the new CEO of Twitter, and he claims that this person is superior to Prague Al Guan. Elon Musk trolled the internet by joking introducing his pet dog Floki. This should shut him up in new as a new CEO Twitter. Oh my gosh. Yes. This is what Elon does best. He sits there. And he trolls Twitter and everything else to do CEO. I love it. That's the type of great entertainment you get over on Twitter now because of Elon Musk. Yeah. That Twitter dog, the Dojo dog, if you will. A lot of people recognize the dog from Dogecoin as exactly would be a better CEO than any other person he would probably name anyway. At least the dog wouldn't censor anybody, right? The dog would be willing to allow free speech to blossom on the platform. Anyway, this was a way of Elon basically thumbing his nose at the after-globalist who continued to want him to suppress free speech on the platform, and for him to step aside and allow the globalist to once again take control of the company of Twitter so it can be just like all the other companies who continue to suppress freedom of speech. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Of course, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course possibly subscribe if you're up for it. I'm gonna get back to work. I want to thank you guys for watching and all